Alright guys, welcome to my recap of Challengers Week 1 in NA. This might be a little bit longer video because I'm going to talk about every game, and then also there's some other news that I want to talk about. But yeah, let's get right into it. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe, it would be much appreciated. And let's get back into the video. And first up here, we have G2 versus Faze. This game was pretty interesting, went about how I expected it to go. On Fracture, holy shit, this map was terrible. G2 would like leave four players like deep inside A site, like one like drop, one CT, one rope, and then one sands or something like that, like just for an example. And then they would leave the Cypher on B alone just to like set up and have trips and try to get kills and play retake. And FaZe just kind of exploited that. And they would like walk into B, break the Cypher trips, and then make G2 retake, and then G2 wouldn't retake. Like, FaZe planted B 8 times in that half I counted, and even when FaZe did plant A, they had decent success. It wasn't like they could only win when they went to B. And then in the second half, FaZe kind of just like picked an extremity, ran it down with Baby Bay, and then killed G2, apart from the pistol round. So it was fun to watch. I don't know how effective it would be against better teams, but I thought G2 was like okay in the second half, but they didn't have a ton of rounds to work with. But the one thing I did notice that their post plants were horrendous. They were just awful. Like, I don't even know. But yeah, I don't understand why G2 even picked Fracture in the first place into Faze, who historically have been really good on Fracture, like in all their like close games against 100 Thieves in stage 2. They would pick Fracture, and that would be the one map that they won every time. So I don't know. And then on Icebox, Phase, they brought out the Harbor, which was kind of interesting. When I first saw it, I kind of liked it. And then once they got into the game, the Harbor was like a pretty good replacement for Sage in terms of just strictly getting the bomb down. But the second like G2 tried to retake, Phase just could not hold it to save their life. I don't know. I feel like the Sage is a lot better at doing that, like more defensively to help them like not only get the bomb down, but like limit G2's options in terms of like where they can go on the retake. Which I know G2's retakes were like pretty good. I don't know how much of that is literally having absolutely zero resistance with the Harbor. So I don't know. And then in the second half, it was kind of more the same. Oxy played a lot better in this half. Obviously, you can see the 27 kills. But on. Wait, what? I don't know. Okay. Like on the first half, on defense, he would literally just be like randomly peeking shit with an op and dying, and then G2 would still win the round, so it wouldn't matter. But I felt like a lot of Oxy's like defense sides on this match were not good. Like he would just be randomly swinging shit with an op like it was ranked. So I don't know. All my questions about Oxy were not answered, but it also didn't give me any extra doubts. Like his attack side was really good. Like his entries were really nice. I don't know, he got the kills that he needed to get. Sometimes he would overextend, but I think that can be fixed. It's just it happened like every round on the defense side of every. But yeah, Icebox, obviously again not the most interesting of maps, being 13-4. G2 kind of regained their footing here. And then Haven, the comps in this map were awesome. I mean, especially G2's. I just generally like this Faze comp, but the G2 one was fun. I mean, they played Haven like they should have played Fracture. They had the double duelist, Penny and Oxy. They would kind of just like run it down, generally in a lobby, and just get a shit ton of map control, and then they would force Faze, almost a G2, into the other half of the map, generally the C side, where Dapper would be playing and Whippy would be playing, and then they would just shut them down, basically. Um, I don't know. Shaz, his reads were so good in this game. He also played very, 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 very well on this guy, which I honestly didn't expect him to. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Faze, they weren't playing for a ton of like a lobby control like you normally do. Like they literally invented back in like 2021. Like they were the first team to realize, oh shit, this little like square of map control is super, super, super important. So overall, like I don't know, the second two maps went more in the direction of how I expected, but I'm not surprised. Like if you told me what's the one map that you thought G2 would lose on, I would have said Fracture, probably. But I don't know. I think Whippy had a nice game. Uh, Oxy did not, except for the attacking sides where he played okay, but he had some moments where he definitely overextended, and that could be punished by a better team. And the second match of the week, Guard versus Disguise. I thought there was some upset potential in this game. Not a ton of it. I pretty much expected Guard to win. Like I thought DSG was really nice in their open qualifying run, but Guard was just like a tier or two above them, which kind of played out in this match. In the first half on Bind, I'm just gonna go half by half here, kind of like I tried to do on the last one, but then I stopped reading my notes. Guard, they looked like really prepared for Steel's lurks. Like I think it was on the first round where they had a triple push down short to try to like kind of clear Steel on the left side with the Viper wall. It didn't really work, but he was still capitalizing on them pretty well. He would like wrap back around showers and get a kill and whatnot. Um, this guy's post plants looked really bad at times. Just kind of like randomly swinging on their own, not really a ton of help. Um, but yeah, as I said earlier, a lot of like defensive aggression from the guard, which this guy's did a decent job of dealing with, especially in like the first half of the half. Um, like the first quarter of the whole game, like in these what, 6 rounds, is it? Yeah, it was 6-2, and then the guard kind of brought it back. It felt like this guy's definitely played better in that half, but it still ended up 6-6, which kind of sucked for them. Um, in the second half, completely opposite from the last time, or the last half. Steele had a just awful half. He would just like I don't know. They kept getting caught like pushing on his own without any teammates to trade or anything. Like there was multiple rounds where he like peeked at a hookah and then into like 4 people from the guard, which I understand more as an IGL perspective, but it's still like not good to be giving kills away. As I said earlier, they weren't like aggressive enough in like groups as a whole, and when they tried to do it the one time, they did it out of a timeout and walked down B long as 3, and then just got rolled. Um, because, and it was kind of expected to me. Like I was sitting there like, when are they gonna get aggressive? And they call a timeout, and then they get aggressive. And the guard also had the same thought as me, and they just kind of held for it, killed all 3, won the round for free, and it's just like whatever. The Exalt Sky looked really nice. Um, the Trent Rays looked like surprisingly good. I didn't think it would look bad because it's Trent, but it was definitely surprisingly good. Gangsta kind of struggled in this map on the brim. It kind of just looked like a map that DSG didn't scrim a ton of. And the way Steele was talking about it on the Wise Men podcast kind of like reinforced that in my head. Um, yeah, as you can see here, like 7 first deaths for Steele, not good. And then on Ascent, it felt like kind of the same thing. Like Steele was kind of just feeding an A main every round. Both Jets were going crazy though. Like DSG's execs were kind of getting shut down by like the Tex op by Valen too. Valen was so good in this map. How what? Okay, I did not look at the stats before this. I'm gonna be honest. Tex being at the bottom here surprises me. Um, I don't know. Like they did a bunch of like 4v5 execs where they would like Steel would die first or like give away a free kill. Like somebody would die first, generally Steel. Um, and then they would try the 4v5 exec, get punished, and then lose the round pretty much. That was their attack half. Uh, at the end, it felt like they might have a chance to get back into it. Oh no, that was the end of the half. Yeah. Um, yeah, Jonah P won like a massive run 1v2. I didn't read the notes that said round 10. Um, and won the round for the guard there. And then the very next round on DSG's Eco, they get two first picks, and then Valen just swings a main and kills three in one spray. And then in the 2v5, oh, they got three first. Yeah, they got three picks. And then Valen swung, got the three, and then aced and won the round. And that was like, okay, this game's just over. I don't know. DSG didn't look terrible in the second half, but they didn't have a ton of rounds to work with. Generally, what I say after teams start on attack on ascent, which kind of sucks. But yeah, that was DSG versus the guard. And now with the first match of day 2, we have TSM versus Mad Lions on Icebox, which was a 13-2 just absolute stomp from Mad Lions. I mean, just continued to probably be their best map from the open qualifiers as well. This time they looked a lot better on attack, like being able to get the bomb down and whatnot. Trix IGLing was awesome. There was a lot of like lurks up in places, like he was doing it, Ainge was doing it. They just worked TSM. Um, like during the Tarek Ludwig Invitational, TSM looked decent on this map, but that might have just been because Corey was going insane. And also Sentinels probably wasn't being good, so it probably covered up some of their flaws on that map, which led to this result. And then on Bind, I don't know. It just felt like TSM was winning pretty much every opening duel, especially on that attack half, like the string of rounds. But Mad adjusted and started doing better. Like especially in these rounds where like they would actually like stay back a little bit more, be ready for TSM to go in. Ironically, it was off the back of Sexro starting to op, which is kind of funny. But overall, definitely felt like a more even half. And Matt also showed that they can adapt a lot better. Also, in this map, Seven just was completely taking over, especially on the defensive side when he got the op in his hands. But with both Bind and Icebox, Ainge, a player that I wasn't super high on, I was actually lower on. I did not like his play in the open qualifier. I thought he got a lot better in generally just this match. Like not even just on these two maps. Like I liked his Viper. It was pretty good. Then Ascent. This map was interesting. Uh, TSM, the first half of the first half was just working the map perfectly, getting all the like split hits, just every like lurk timing going their way, first kills, all that kind of stuff. And then the second they started like losing rounds, like especially like round 9 and on, they just started 5-man hitting all the time for whatever reason, and then caused them to lose the next 6 rounds. But then they just picked it back up on defense and were pretty much fine. I don't think there was a full gun round until like round 17 or 18, which was kind of funny. Just stinger buys all the time, which I'll talk about later. Corey was playing pretty crazy on this map. TSM Jets were just going off. I feel like Seven should be playing the Jet, but if he's more comfortable on Sentinel than Corey, I get it completely. Um, and yeah, you have Oxygen versus Breakthrough. The one game that I got my predictions wrong on. Um, I kind of expected Oxygen to play the Breach on Ascent, which was kind of what helped them do better on their attack side. Um, and I think their retakes were really nice with it, but the KO definitely helped like their sight holds and whatnot, which were kind of bad. And Breakthrough, who was doing a lot better at like defaulting and like slowing down their play and like split hitting and stuff that I've talked a lot about, which contributed to their 3 rounds. I mean, it looked a lot closer than the score entailed. Like it did not feel like a 9-3 half with all the post plants that Oxygen were in. They had like 5 diffuses down the stretch here. Um, but yeah, and then in the second half, Oxygen just like they kept dry swinging right into Sim's op, and he just didn't miss. I don't know. I don't know. This map like was kind of weird. I don't think the Cypher played too big of an impact. They just would go to the other site all the time, even if they didn't know that he was there. Just your average Sentinel gameplay from a proto. And then on Breeze, this map was very frustrating. I didn't even watch the entire second half, I'm going to be honest, because I kind of like, well, I watched like the back half of it before I watched the first half of it, so um, like Oxygen would use mid a lot on the attack, which was really, really nice. Their Yoru on the attack was good. It was a good agent. It did really well at like exploiting, like getting past the cipher trips and halls and whatnot. But on the defense, like they would have a lot of late setups because of it, and it just kind of really limited like how their sight holds, like how good their sight holds could be. So I don't know. I just this match made me very angry because they were up 9-3 in both halves and lost. And I think this week has been the return of the 9-3 half because it wasn't only this game that had that in it. So, and on to the final day of matches, which was started off with Shopify versus Turtle Troop. And this was probably about what I expected from this game. On Fracture, like Turtle Troop was just getting fucking ran over by Mata. B Dog's Brim was really nice on both maps. I think this map was kind of like my realization that Sky might end up being meta on this map, but she also, like, we haven't seen her on the defensive side from either Faze or from Shopify. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. I hope B Dog, like with the Brim thing, I hope B Dog continues to play like other smoke agents that aren't just Brim. Like I'd be fine like if they play Icebox, if he played like a Sage or something, and then Moose played the Viper, but he would probably end up playing the Killjoy, and then B Dog would play the Viper. So I don't know. We'll have to see, but I don't know. Shopify definitely went up in my mind. Harmful. Let's talk about Turtle Troops a little bit. Harmful just played like shit, especially on this bind map. He was playing like it was ranked, pretty much, and like even then he was trolling. Just some of the peaks into like 3, 4 people at the same time. Obviously, his stats comparatively to the rest of his team did not look that bad, but they were. Just kind of the pinnacle game that shows that stats don't matter. Also, Governor's IG yelling was not good in this map. It was definitely worse than in the open qualifier. So I don't know. This game overall didn't change too much about how I thought about Shopify, but definitely hurt Turtle stocks. And the final match of the week, M80 versus Or. I thought this match would be a lot closer than what people kind of thought it would be. Like I think M80 was probably the biggest favorite of the week in terms of consensus. I mean, they had a plat chat guarantee. Uh, so, but on Haven, which is the first map, my first takeaway was definitely like how clean Koala and Xander were looking. That first pistol was kind of wacky. Koala got a knife kill. Uh, M80 just didn't peak when Zeldris stuck at the fuse, so whatever. Um, yeah, Or's fundamentals looked really nice. Like not that they were bad in the open qualifier, but they were better. Like their like sight holds are really nice, their retakes and all that kind of stuff, which contributed to them having a better defensive half than what people thought. But M80 were playing this map really, really well on the attacking half. They were just like abusing the B site, kind of like what Optic was doing at Champions, where they would like smoke off one of the links and then take the other link and set their Opera up there, or even like Xander and some other players would go there. They mainly took A link. They kind of ignored C link, which was kind of exploitable for the future, but we'll see. I'm sure they'll play for that a bit more in other games. But in the second half, I mean, or just kept getting the bomb down, and then they just had no util left for a post plant, and they just lost all of the rounds, and they I don't know they just didn't really have a chance. And then on Pearl, another 9-3 curse game, which was kind of funny. But similar story to like the attacking side on Haven for Ore. They just kept using so much util in the early round, which kind of made it hard to like hold on in post plants, or even like this game they struggled to like pivot and go to different sites. But I think this map it was more warranted because of how aggressive Koala Noob was getting. They just M80 did such a good job of like setting him up for good angles. Like in the beginning of the half, it was like he would dash in and then kill everybody with his rifle. And then later in the half, they would set him up on good angles with the op, which was really nice. But then the second half, M80 just could not get past like all the trap plays that Or had. And even when they did, Or was able to have like really nice retakes with a bunch of util still there. And also, Zeldris just went fucking insane on this map. It was awesome. Same thing with Nylaz, or how the hell, I don't even know how the hell you pronounce that, but I don't know. Both really popped off on this map. And also Jonah's like breach stuns and like supportive util were really nice, so that's good to see from him. And then Icebox, I'm gonna be honest, I just watched the highlights of this map, and in my notes, the only thing I wrote down was Koala Noob because he just went insane on this map, and so did Nismo with that almost 2 rating, which is not normal on VLR. And yeah, that was about it for this match. It's pretty interesting, almost an upset, but not really. So we'll just have to see down the line for both these teams. And yeah, so that was all 6 games for this week. I just wanted to give you guys my updated power rankings. So obviously the number changes from last week. I have Turtle Troops going down 2 after getting completely stomped by Shopify, and then Or going up 1, which was more to do with themselves. Generally, when a team goes up from the bottom, it's because somebody else dropped below them. But I wanted to raise them higher, but I either felt like good about these teams going in, or I feel about a lot better about them like going forward. I think Or can be a really good upset team to pretty much every team above them, other than like M80, SR, and the guard. But yeah, Mad Lions, I moved up 3. They looked really, really clean this week, despite losing. DSG, I dropped 3. They kind of got stomped by the guard. I think they can bounce back from this, maybe climb up a couple spots throughout the season. Faze, my opinion really didn't change on them, and neither did their ranking. TSM, I dropped down 2 because I didn't think they would be that close with Mad Lions, but they were. And G2, I bumped up 3. I just think I don't feel great. Like the bumping them up 3 feels like they played really well and a lot better than I expected. But they played about as I expected. It was just some teams dropping below them. Breakthrough, who I had above them, continues to be better than them, even better than I thought they would be in that game. M80 having a closer game with, or I don't necessarily think they deserve to drop, but I think SR deserves to go up after they're just, again, complete stomp Turtle Troops. And then the guard stays at number 1, as it will probably be for this whole season. And last thing here, I just wanted to talk about the Stinger nerf, which should actually make a very, very big difference on like a pro level. Um, Obviously, as you can see here, they increased the cost to 1,100 and changed the damage fall off a bit, which I don't think entirely kills the weapon. I think obviously most kills with the Stinger were coming from up close, but a lot of the like BS kills would be just from over 15 meters, which they kind of nerfed. So I think pretty much what they say here was correct. Like there were so many Stinger forces, and especially this week of NA, and I think across the world, I would be surprised if other regions were not abusing the Stinger. But I don't know. It's still a usable gun, still will be used, but not to the degree that it was now. And yeah, that was all the games and the news from this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this like longer video. I think it was. I didn't really take time on it or like pay attention to how much time I was spending on it. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Probably my predictions that are coming out tomorrow. So I hope you guys tune in for that, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.